Greetings, music lovers. Angus Woodhead here from Glasshouse Studios, Queensland, Australia. I'm coming to you from Studio B, which is our analog studio. And I just wanted to run you through some of the gear here and a mix I'm doing. So the centerpiece of the studio is a vintage Cadac J-32, which is a very high-end, high-quality vintage desk. It has 12 auxiliary sends, fully parametric 3-band mids and highs, and a variable high-pass filter. I'm running it with 4 VCAs. So you can see I got drums, bass, instruments, vocals. And essentially the goal in this studio is to not even turn the computer on. So the computer's not even on at the moment. I do have my laptop here, which has some metering that I use just for checking my mix. The other very vital part of the studio is the vintage Studer A827 24-track 2-inch tape machine. So what I'm doing is I'm prepping songs in Studio A, in Pro Tools, bring them over into Studio B, dump them over onto tape, and then I'm mixing off tape. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm running out to effects from the auxiliary sends, and I'm using dynamics on some of the channels. So I've also got an analog 2-bus chain, which is I'm running an Avalon high-end EQ, AD2055, and the old SSL Effects G384 bus compressor for glue and snap. On the drums, I only fitted these in yesterday and I'm in love with them. We've got channel strips, 10 of them, out of a Neve V3 from 1984. So they've all been fully serviced and restored, racked up, and the dynamics on these are fantastic. I'm using compressor and gate, and I'm using them 10 channels. I'm using them on the drums. So I'm capturing my mix to SD card with a Tascam high quality, high definition recorder. I'm capturing at 88.2. So dynamics, I'm using a pair of distressors with an old Auburn de-esser to tame the high end for parallel drum crush. I'm using a 70s 1176 on lead vocal. I'm using some Drawmer gates and some old Valley People Gatex on some of the elements just to reduce the noise floor. I'm not really doing any gating of anything. I've got an old MXR limiter, dual limiter, which I'm using that on the left and right slide color. The 1178, I'm using that channel A on the lead slide and channel B on bass. And then the LA3As, these are the UA reissue. I'm using them on the 2 main electric guitar rhythms. Effects wise, I've got a 960L. So I'm using the 960L on, I'm running two patches, a plate and a room. The room's on the drums and the plate is on the slide lead and the lead vocal. I get in and out of that via a Lynx Aurora 8. I'm using an old Lexicon PCM 42. I'm using that for my vocal slap, set to 130. Because the Cadac doesn't really have a lot of channels, well, it's got 24 channels, but it doesn't have a lot of effects returns. I'm actually using a Neve summing box, the 8816. I'm using that for my effects return, and I control that over here with the fader bank. I'm using a Yamaha Rev 7 on Symphonic, which is the old Andy Wallace Nirvana bass trick. So I'm using that on lead vocal, slide and bass. I'm not actually using the Rev 1 today, and I'm not using the little model 1300. So that's basically it. I'm also using a tape echo. an old Roland Space Echo, Chorus Echo RE501. I've got that on the lead vocal and the slide guitar. So I'm just going to run the track and just give you a little listen, and then I'll start soloing things, and we'll fire up the tape machine. There she goes. And we'll see what we've got here. So there's the close drum mics. Now if I punch out the 10 channels of Neve, that's the drum sound. And then this has got inserts which you can punch in and out. Punch the inserts in on the drums. Get a really nice snap. I'm gating all them except the overheads, mainly just for noise floor. Then I'm paralleling into the distresses, and you can see I'm crushing those distresses. Medium to fast attack, fastest release. Bringing that back in here. So if we turn that up, I'll just turn off the reverb. So that's with the drum crush. There's without. And then I'll bring in the effects. So that's the drums, bass, just using some EQ and the 1178. I'm just tickling the 1178. So there's the rhythms going through the LA3As. I reamped them through my Vox AC30 and just a bit of high pass filter and adding a bit of fat to them. The Hammond organ. I'm doing nothing to that. I've time aligned the mics in Pro Tools, and then it's just coming in left, right and centre. And the stereo slide. The main slide is coming in on the I reamped all the guitars, so the main slide is coming in on the 1178 channel 1. Then when I reamped it, I put a little bit of tape echo on it. So I'm just using a little bit more tape echo and a little bit of reverb, and I'm using some widening, some stereo widening. Actually, I just noticed I haven't got the widening on the bass. Normally I do that. I have got it on all the 3 slide tracks. And yeah, so we've got the main slide, the rhythm guitar tracks. There's the slide. It's just adding an accent.
Storms on the ocean, ships lost out at sea.
So the vocal, I'm using tape echo, 960L, a bit of symphonic, and the PCM 42 slap. Bit of tape echo. 960L coming through the Lynx Aurora. I'll just turn that up and give you a listen.
I'll be the one to believe in you as long as you stand by.
And I'm compressing that with the 70s 1176 LN Rev F, I think it is. I think it's a Rev F.
The seasons change.
Bass drop. So one of the things with the Cadac, you've got VCAs, which is great, and you can assign to the VCAs, but you must have this aux VCA button engaged. If you don't engage that button, when you adjust the VCA, it doesn't bring the effects with you.
I'll be the one. Keep believing. I'll be the one.
Then I'm metering over here. So in this mix, the drums were pretty squared off. So I don't know if they were compressed when tracking happened, but I've actually got 4 channels of DBX 160. 2 of them are clones, but they've got vintage VCAs in them. And this is my tracking rack, and I use this vintage Yamaha for pre's. Although we do have the Neves now, so that's another option. 10 channels of Neve might be cool for tracking drums. They are transformer balanced pre's from the 80s, early mid 80s. But yeah, so I'm not using the 160s on drums with this mix because they were already pretty squared off. I don't know whether the preamps didn't have enough headroom or whether they were actually compressed on the way in. But there you have it. We'll just rest the heads here. So that's a little walkthrough of what we're doing here in Studio B. The goal is not to even turn the computer on. It's not even turned on. The old Mac Pro HD 10 HD3 system. It's really, I just use it getting stuff on and off the tape machine. So we've still got a few more dynamics to add. Channels 11 and 12 don't have any dynamics. And 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 don't have dynamics. So the plan is to get dynamics onto those channels. And I'm also looking for some more gates, mainly just for noise floor. You know, when you're mixing analog, you're always dealing with noise floor, trying to get that as quiet as possible. It's pretty good now, but, you know, we can get it really commercial, professional quiet with some more gates. And the Lynx Aurora's over here. There's 32 I/O connected to the HD system. That's just for getting audio on and off the tape machine, basically. And we're malting, using a patch bay, we're malting to the console from the tape out and also to Pro Tools in. So power supplies for the Cadacs there, they weigh an absolute ton. So I'm just using NS10s here, but with some subs. Got some custom handmade subs down under there. You can see, I don't know if you can see them down there. They're, yeah, little custom handmade subs made by Nathan Isherwood. So they're really cool. It's not a huge space here, unfortunately, so it's pretty well, you know, there's only enough room for myself and one or two other people, whether I'm mentoring someone or if I'm got a client here or something. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of space. The plan is to build a massive control room next door, and that'll be much bigger and be able to have more people in, whole bands and stuff, and then this will become the drum room. So look, thanks for tuning in. Happy to take any questions, and really excited about the sound. This 10 channels of Neve from a V3 from 1984 has really added something special to the drums. They've really just got a nice crack now. That's been really cool. And then, you know, the vintage 1176 on vocals, and yeah, just running a Crane Song Avocet Series 1 for monitoring. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for tuning in, folks. See you next time.